Last weekend, Melbourne had its time to host a 2023 major with the Game Expo. This was Australia's second ultimate major for the year, and as 158 entrants travelled out to get their hands on the crown, a new set of storylines was going to be woven. From being a major where majority of the talent vying for a spot on AusPR attended, to the implications of the event and ongoing discourse around the legality of Minecraft Steve. This was always going to be a momentous event. As the dust settled on Sunday afternoon and Ghost claimed the crown, everyone walked away knowing this event had huge ramifications. So if you were busy watching Mia dominate Seibugeki or the chaos that was Collision 2023, let me be your guide for Australia's most important event of the year so far.
Oh my god, Jump getting scouted.
Watch the end. Oh my god, that's it. That might be it.
Yeah, holding out there too.
That'll be it.
Okay. Kanga Ghost, for the first time in what seems like quite a while, has managed to take a tournament from
Jdizzle,
a home stater, and from Jdizzle too. Yeah.
Here's our winner. The South Australian Steve broke down some trends of post-quarantine Smash, being the first Australian to lock down 2 majors, being the first player from interstate to win, and the first time it was done without a reset in grand finals. It was a clinical performance, only being pushed to a decisive game by the runner-up Jdizzle twice. Ghost would drop 5 games across his 8 sets, claiming wins over Easy Cole, Ryan, Pillow Talk, Dura, and Jdizzle twice. What perhaps is more vital about this performance is what it means for Australia on a larger scale. Ghost's large push for a Steve ban since picking him up may finally be occurring, with these sorts of results impacting viewership and general comments from Australian players on the event indicating that Steve probably has to go. Alongside the international discourse around PMLG lately, it seems that Australia may be trending towards a universal ban. Victorian Weekly Pixel Smash implemented a ban already, just a single day after the Game Expo. But regardless of the discourse, Ghost's performance here was just too damn strong for any player to handle, as his ascension up the list of AusPR contenders continues.
Like, he's one banana combo away from, look at the shield! Oh!
Oh! Wow!
He's still in it. He's still got it. He's very happy with that one. He's so happy with that
cheeky
one.
little grin. Look at this little gremlin.
Our runner-up was the first seed of the event, but regardless, Jdizzle's first Australian major since Phantom 2022 in July was still a valiant effort. A cruisy run up to winners semis through Bendy, McCarp, Zach, Taicho, and Fried Rice, only dropping 1 game in the process. He was then faced with a Steve who gave him grief earlier in the week at Temple Smash 55, Jix. The Steve would have the yink on the ropes after 2 games before something no one would ever expect. A character swap to Cloud Strife.
Hey, wait. Sorry. Have we ever seen a Jdizzle Cloud? Like, ever?
Someone known to exclusively stick to one character forever with Yink had his counter pick ready for the blocky boy, and it worked. He was able to reverse 3-0 Jix to move into winners finals. He would try to replicate the same magic against Ghost, but he wouldn't budge, and after beating one of the few people to be a thorn in his side recently with Dura in losers finals, he would try to push Ghost again, but after game 4, he felt the pressure and just couldn't get it over the line. Regardless, in a top 8 where Steve was everywhere, Jdizzle was innovative and worked as hard as he could to get touching distance from the crown. And whether or not Steve is legal by BAM in June, the next tussle between himself and Ghost will be very special.
Man, Falco up B normally just connects.
Yeah, Dura's been so good at catching all these rolls onto stage from Stacked. He's just trying to get back to center stage, and Dura is not going to let him. Little pop off there.
Spoke about him at Pissmas, and this performance was even better. This time all Cloud, and following a week where he placed or surpassed his seed at every event, Dura would gain a +5 SPR and a 3rd place finish at TGX. His wins in pools over Personate and Jodo would then be followed up by an upset factor 5 win over Shrix, beating Stacked, before Ghost would put his winners run to bed. 3-0 sweeps over Didi and Jix for a combined upset factor of 7, before the run would finally be stopped by Jdizzle in a 3-1 fashion. The 14th seed went above and beyond this time, with Cloud tearing through every opponent in his way but the 2 grand finalists. His recent form locally and nationally is pointing to a player who is set up for a very good 2023.
Threading the needle once again. These Nairs. Someone online.
Getting it in! Oh my god!
Oh, Queensland! Oh my god!
Queensland really stepped up to the plate with a small travelling party of 6, 5 of their players made top 48 and 3 of those 5 made top 12. A state where at other majors, drowns have been far too common. But this time, they showed up in style. We'll go through their 3 top 12 finishes in ascending order. Let's start with Pillow Talk. This was something fresh for Queensland. The Bayo had not been seen post-quarantine at a major, and even the most recent season was their first time getting ranked in a hot minute. Showing up in style with a 9th place, which included a reverse 3-0 over Duon to get out of Pool's winner's side. He would then 3-0 DMO to start top 48, and would be the only one apart from Jdizzle to get a game off Ghost, going down 3-1. He would lose to Ray Z, who was on a 5-set losers run, and this run would send the Bayo home at 9th. But the first major back has certainly sent a message about what's coming. Our next standout Queenslander arguably had the run of the tournament, next to Dura, with Stacked, also having a +5 SPR as the 27th seed. After working through Techless and Newt early in pools, he would get the biggest upset of pools with a 3-2 win over Ray Z, which accounted for an upset factor 5 win. Stacked would then open Sunday with an upset factor 3 win over Luma. He would get a game off Dura and then would charge through Easy Cole to make top 8. Stacked would again meet Ray Z here, but the loser's run would finally end, as Stacked would double eliminate the Pit Link co-main before meeting Jix for 5th. Stacked would go up 2-0 before Jix would deny Stacked his first win over the Diddy Steve co-main in 10 sets. The Falco really showed up this weekend, and being the first time 2 Queenslanders had made top 8 interstate post-quarantine, it really did show that when this state is on, they're a threat. Lastly, we would get to Jix, who would also outperform their seed, but just by 1 round, finishing at 4th. They would cruise through the early rounds with wins over Ravsav, Fen Gaming, and Chisel, with no games dropped. This trend would continue until winners semis, as Heaven and Didi wouldn't take games. Jdizzle's Cloud would overcome Jix's early lead in the winners semi set, but Jix themselves would create a reverse 3-0 over Stacked in losers quarters, before Dura would end the run in a 3-0 fashion to leave Jix out at 4th. Whether it's Diddy Kong or Steve, it doesn't matter. They're a strong force at any event and leads the charge for Queensland to demonstrate that this state is still quite powerful.
Oh, that's gonna be it. That's it. Yeah, damn,
Big
dude.
pop-off from Isaiah. Huge pop-off from Isaiah.
Yeah.
As 5 of the top 8 seeds made it to top 8, the number of standout performances isn't superbly long. There's still plenty to look at who really took their opportunities with both hands. We'll start with the most impressive of the 9th place finishers. Easy Cole. The Victorian hero main decided to just keep on winning with a +4 SPR, as he would open his account on Saturday with an upset factor 1 win over New South Wales star Chipotle. Losing to Ghost in the top 48 qualifiers would mean he'd start Sunday in losers, but that was fine. He was just going to win sets anyway, being handed the Victorian bracket as he would defeat fellow statesmen Homer, Jeans, SebPro 101, and Duon for a combined upset factor of 7. He would unfortunately not get further than the top 8 qualifiers, with Stacked putting him to the sword, but his run showed off the pure endurance and determination Easy Cole has, where if you give him an inch, he'll take it a mile. Next up we have Malakoff, who for the 2nd consecutive major has outplaced his seed by multiple rounds. The +2 SPR for the 18th seed would see him place 9th, cleaning up Chisel, Flow, Shrix, and Luma in losers for a combined upset factor of 8. This included the biggest upset of the event, as Malakoff sending Shrix home at 17th, being upset factor 6. Despite losing to Wash early in pools, Malakoff didn't give up and was yet another Victorian showing that losers bracket is just another challenge which can be surmounted. A pillar of Victorian Smash who finally got their run was Scrimblow Baggins, also known as Duon, piloting exclusively Diddy Kong to a 13th place and a +2 SPR. He would beat Perth DK Kutz before an unfortunate reverse 3-0 against Queensland Bayo. Pillow Talk would mean starting Sunday in losers. He would then cut the run short for Victorian Risers, Gravity and Wash. His big win would come in losers round 3 with an upset factor 2 win over SA Greninja, Taicho, before Easy Cole would end the run at 13th. Being someone who's really struggled to get the ball rolling after pools at post-quarantine majors, this was a big one for Duon to show when he's on, not much is going to stop him. Our final highlight is Gravity. The Victorian Inkling made his mark in pools, but what was impressive was the grit shown to get out of pools. The 68 seed was put on the back foot out of the gate, losing a close Game 3 set to Yoshi main Slimboy 17. A beyond frustrating matchup for Inkling. His run would then be made of exclusively interstaters, beating Armor, Evader, Moth Plague, and finally yet another struggle of an Inkling matchup. Rob. SA player Oscar was Gravity's final challenge to escape pools, and when 3 games were played out, he walked away the winner. A 4-set losers run where he could have walked away with a placing as low as 129th. But no, he dug deep and refused to go down. He would lose to Duon in his first set of top 48 for 33rd. But the end result definitely doesn't tell the whole story of a +2 SPR from the lowest seed to escape pools, who's worked hard for a result like this.
I mean, he hasn't done any percent yet. He's lost the stock, and he's about to get 0 to death again. He just got double 0 to death. Double 0 to death.
In a similar vein to the action, TGX didn't have a massive bag of upsets, tallying a total upset factor of 89. But regardless, the upset showed that Oz mid-level shouldn't be messed with, as they cause chaos in brackets. We have 3 upset factor 2 wins in pools to go through first. Victorian Falco Beat continues to struggle with FGCs, as Heaven would secure a 3-1 victory in top 48 qualifiers. Victorian Snake main Wash would also claim a big name in his second set of the tournament, beating Malikov 2-0. SA Simon main Moonlight would add to a chaotic week, where she secured an upset factor 10 win over Shrix by claiming a 2-0 win over Finn to reach top 48 qualifiers. Moving into Sunday, young Vic Rob Scobo picked up an upset factor 2 win over Finn to send the Queensland Snake home at 33rd, and this upset would add to the upset factor 1 win over New South Wales Wario Coleman the day prior to really emphasise the strength of yet another Vic Rob. Victorian Ryu Tin Man would pick up the earliest upset of day 2 with an upset factor 2 win on New South Wales Croy main Jodo in 5 games. Outside of this, minor upsets included Jdizzle and Wash both collecting upset factor 1 wins on Mast, Insin main Kid Coley beating Falcon main Joker, Ike main Wi-Fi beating Deku Meister, Moth Plague defeating Swait, Bread Cyclone overcoming IB, Jeans defeating John Bombo, Vic Pack Personate overcoming SA Ness Yosha, Joker beating out P9 to escape pools, IB beating Kutz, Dan in Real Life defeating Newt, Skinny Pad over Fen Gaming, and Ice Banana defeating leader of Pack Nation, Hydro, for some of the minor but important upset factor 1 wins. Finally, Beaky being the lowest seed to cause an upset of multiple rounds, as the 129th seed would defeat Mr. Will in an upset factor 2 win. While the upsets didn't tell many super big picture stories, they wove together at TGX to tell a whole story of whoever you would fight next was always going to be a roll of the dice for any competitor. Everyone's so hungry right now. The Game Expo pointed to signs of a shift at top level, with last year's rising stars consolidating themselves now, and those up the top struggling to maintain position. It makes you wonder how everything will look in 3 months' time, when Australia's biggest major of the year, BAM, rolls around. In the meantime, we'll be left wondering about what will change before then, but that's a wrap on another Oz major. I'll be back soon with more general Smash content. Be sure to share around if you liked it. Until next time though, see ya.